Hypocrites, 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 hypocrites. Do you guys remember when the story of Chidima Adechenye came out here in South Africa, who is a contestant for Miss South Africa? And she basically was being called out by most South Africans that she can't represent South Africa in a competition that is potentially going to put her on the world stage and potentially put her in Miss Universe as well, where she would potentially have to represent South Africa. And it was very clear that there's no intention on her side to actually represent South Africa. I've made 2 videos about her before already. The first video I was saying that we should wait for everything to come out before we actually make comments and opinions about her. And then the second video I spoke about the fact that her mom was being exposed by prima facie or facie, no, I don't know how you actually pronounce it, that there may have been some identity theft, number 1. Number 2, there was some fraudulent documents in her mother's attaining of her citizenship in South Africa. And she is an innocent victim. But the more I think about it, in the way she clearly represented herself on social media, I don't know if she is actually a true innocent victim in this case. She might have known a few things about this. And allegedly, the family members from her mother's side were warning her that, look, don't go to such a public platform or competition, allegedly again, because you might actually expose what is going on. This has actually brought more attention to the Home Affairs, which is good. This is something that has to be dealt with by South Africa, and we'll talk about that more, and I will definitely talk about that in some other videos. But recently, I think it's today, if not today, it was last night, Miss Nigeria offered Chidima a spot in their competition, in their pageant. And guess what? In fact, before I even talk about the response that came from most Nigerians, I also want to talk about the first thing. Nigerians were calling us South Africans. They were calling us out, calling us xenophobic, calling us bullies, and they were really much against us calling her out and people calling her out. Remember, I didn't have an opinion at first. But now that I have an opinion, I also have to speak about the fact that we were labeled, number 1, as Afrophobic, we were labeled as xenophobic, we were labeled to be cyberbullies. Now, an element of cyberbullying may have happened. I didn't pay that much attention to that, and that is a mistake on my part. But there were so many Nigerians that wanted us to accept her as being Miss South Africa, knowing very well that she's Nigerian and raising the flag of Nigeria in Miss South Africa. And yeah, that was fine. They were perfectly happy with that. And you know what? This saga, this issue, it has exposed a lot of corruption that has been happening here in this country. We should talk about more of this. I will personally, and to the people that I can reach, the few that I can reach, we'll have conversations about this. But I have a question. Where are all the people who are calling South Africans xenophobic? Where are all the people who are calling us lazy and Afrophobic now that this has been exposed? It's silence, it's crickets, it's justifications. To top it off, after she was offered a spot in Miss Nigeria, guess who's against that happening? Nigerians. South Africans, are they against it? No. Because we know she's Nigerian and she's proudly Nigerian. She should represent Miss Nigeria. But guess what? Nigerians don't want her there. So fuck out of here with that bullshit, man. South Africans are not Afrophobic, they're not xenophobic. They only are when you feel that it affects you. And they only are Afrophobic and xenophobic when they call you out for the bullshit that they go through with foreigners in their country. And we all know very well that South Africans are not xenophobic. They're not. Most of us are not. Even the unemployed, even the ones that are looking for jobs and they can't get jobs and they clearly see illegal foreigners taking the jobs that they could potentially have. Even those people who could be angry, they're not xenophobic. Yeah. But yeah. Everything bad can be labeled to South Africans and not other nations, huh? This Miss South Africa thing is really exposing a lot about a lot of y'all. And But a lot of people, South Africans and foreigners, and South African celebrities, those ones are useless. But anyway, I'm done with this one, man. Let's have a conversation. I'll see you in the next one.